What is needed to set up DIY head tracking on the DJI 04 Pro? Well, you're going to need a head tracker gimbal, right? The fact that you're using the DJI 04 doesn't matter. As long as you're not using the RC controller. If you're using the RC controller, do the Goggles 3 have a built-in head tracker?
They do, but I don't think they can.
Okay. I know the G2 did. The Integra, does it have a head tracker? Did they take that out? I'm not sure.
But you can't use that with DIY, right?
I don't think so. So it has a built-in head tracker, but that's only usable with the Avata. It's not usable with DIY. So what you need is a separate head tracking gimbal that can mount the 04 camera. So for example, if you're trying to set up a head tracker, I would suggest you check out my video on the Medlin drone. Now, I've got several videos about it. This one, the Medlin FPV gimbal on iNav 7, that is a more recent video that shows setting it up on iNav. And here is an older video that shows setting it up on Betaflight. Now, that is a single-axis gimbal, but it will get you in the ballpark of what you need to do, okay? The other thing I'd say is that you're going to want to maybe get like a 3-axis gimbal, like the Walk Snail or the Caddx gimbal. The setup is going to be similar in that you're going to need a head tracker, or you're going to need. Does he specifically ask about a head tracker? He is. Usually, you're going to need a head tracker. It's going to pass the signals through to the gimbal. But the problem with this is that I don't think they have a mount for the 04 camera yet. So I don't know about that. I don't know if anybody, like, these are for standard 19mm Caddx cameras. I swear they have a mount for the 03 as well. I'm pretty sure they also have a mount for the 03. But the general answer to your question is that the head tracking system is going to be completely independent of the video system. The gimbal will get the head tracker, like you may have. Do I still have this over here somewhere? Yeah, I do. So, like, this is a standalone head tracking unit that just sticks onto your goggles. And then it outputs into your controller via the BuddyBox port, and then the controller passes those signals to the receiver, and the receiver passes them to the gimbal or to the flight controller and then to the gimbal, and it's completely independent of your video system. But you have to find a gimbal that has a mount for an 04, and I'm not sure who does or doesn't have that at this point. Thank you, Richard Baggins, for that info. The GM3 is a white box of the C20T by Jianfei. Jianfei does have a mount for the 04. Okay, so there you go. Going back to the question by RC Tech Bench, you should look for the Jianfei C20T gimbal, or presumably the Walk Snail GM3, which has a mount for the 04. Yeah, Monoculus Official, I'll just amplify that point. Head tracking is just seen by the transmitter and the flight controller as any other aux signal. The head tracker outputs 3 PWM signals, basically. I mean, sometimes it could output S-Bus or something. Sometimes it could work over Mavlink. But generally, it's just 3 PWM signals coming out of the head tracker, and they go into the buddy box, and it just looks like incoming RC channels. And then those are passed to the gimbal, and the gimbal interprets them as pitch, roll, yaw. There's nothing. If you're trying to do like built-in stabilization via the flight controller, then it gets a little more complicated. But generally, it's just a simple passing the PWM signal.